What's up, gamers? I'm going to show you how to install or update a game on Steam if you're using an unsupported OS. So if you've been trying to download something and you keep getting an error like one of these, and if you retry you keep getting them, then hopefully this guide will help you. I do not have any games to update, but I have uninstalled a game that I will be reinstalling, this one right here, and it is the exact same as if I were to update a game. The method's exactly the same between the two. So if you need to update or you need to install, please follow these instructions. It should work out for you. So without further ado, let's hop into it. First thing you need to do is close Steam. It will interfere with the program that we're going to use. Second, go on the internet, search for steamCMD. You'll find on Valve's community server or whatever, I don't know, I forget what it's called, but essentially it's on Valve's website. Go ahead and download it from there. I would leave that page open, by the way, in case you need any more commands, because there's things for opting into betas or validating files or using Mac or Linux actually. So if you're using one of those, this should be a general guideline for you, but that page where you get the download from is going to be more precise. So anywho, go ahead and download the zip, extract the application into a folder. I would not recommend putting this into the Steam folder, because if you do that, it will conflict with the Steam client. So I have it in its own unique folder. If you try to run this executable, it'll actually crash most of the time. So what I would do is run command prompt, or you can actually use PowerShell as well if you like the blue color. And if you just type CMD right into this path bar or whatever it's called, then it'll actually set the directory to the folder, which is nice. So now in order to launch the program, we will type steamcmd space hyphen override min os. And as you can see here, it is now downloading something and my steamcmd folder is populating. So that's pretty much showing you that it's working. Now if you watch, this folder will turn into kind of a copy of your Steam folder. And essentially, steamCMD is just a console version of Steam. So if we use it as it is now, everything will go into these folders, but we don't really want that. So what we're going to do is change the install directory for the games to your actual Steam folder. And you will do that by typing force _ install _ dir for directory. And then space quote the path to your Steam folder. This is mine. End quote, and then press enter. And there's no visual confirmation in the console. There was a change in the folder, but essentially if you do this right, it'll just work. So be sure you type everything correctly. From here, you don't need to do this for certain games, but I've found that all the ones that I've updated have to do this. So what you'll do is type login space, and then you will type your government full name. And by that I mean your Steam ID, if that wasn't very clear. But anyway, it's going to ask for a password. I'm going to type my password right now, so give me a moment. Okay, so it didn't show me type it, but I did type it. I imagine that's for a security reason, like if someone's in the same room as you, or I don't know, if you're making a video tutorial or something, you know, something like that. But anyway, so the console's now asking me to verify 2FA on my phone. So I'm going to open the app and do that. If you have any other safeguard in place, I'm sure you'll be prompted for that as well, but this is the only one I have. So anyway, I said okay. Everything says okay in the console, so I am now technically logged into Steam, and this is why we closed Steam earlier, is because you can't have two logins. So from here, we can now download something. So let's go ahead and do that. So the command is app _ update, and then a space, and then you will need the app ID of the game. So that game that I uninstalled earlier with zombies in it, the app ID for that is 1-800-730. Don't call that number. And as you can see here, it just immediately installs because it's such a small file, really. So you should see something about verifying, and then there should be a download percentage at some point, or I don't know, there might be a couple other things, but as long as you see this success, then it worked. Now, to be clear as well, I typed update and it says installed. This isn't just one or the other. This works for both updating and installing, just so you're not confused. So anyway, if you don't know where to get this number, by the way, you can find it on SteamDB if you type in the name of the game you want, or you can type it into the Steam store, like type the name in, and then in the URL there should be a number. But use your browser to do that, because if you launch Steam, it'll mess up with this. So anyway, once you're done, you can type exit or quit, or you can probably just close the X, or excuse me, click the X. And then from here, you're going to want to open Steam. And this takes a while, even though my hardware is pretty decent, so perhaps I should put in a cut. Or maybe not, because that's not very genuine to the integrity of the video. But anyway, if you happen to load Steam faster than me and you see your game's already updated or installed, then congratulations, you can stop watching, enjoy your game. Hopefully this works for you. There are a few other things I want to show as well after I confirm it here on the video. And it has to do with automating this process, and then it also has to do with an old method that I'll just touch briefly on in case you're struggling with this method, as in you've tried everything and you can't get it to work. Then I'll talk about another way that I've done it before. But this is like the most convenient and kind of, let's just say, foolproof way to do it too. So anywho, yeah, I don't know why, but Steam takes a while sometimes. Okay, so we have a complete download, and it was this, which isn't what I downloaded, but this tends to download whenever I install this game anyway, so it's fine. Now, if you update something or you install, it might not say complete in here. That's okay, just see if it works. And then if we go to my library now, we can see that this game has installed, which is wonderful. It's a fun game. So anyway, that's it. I mean, if this is all you want, then as a wise man once said, get your game on, go play. But if you're interested in not having to type all that stuff in every single time that you want to update a game, then I have something for you. So steamCMD recognizes scripts, so you can make a script in a text file, and we'll call this one autodir for auto directory. So inside this text file, we will put a command for the Steam prompt here, the Steam input prompt, and we just want to have the directory change. So let's type force underscore install, install underscore dir. My hands are in a weird position. And then paste in our Steam location, and there it is. So anything that you want the program to recognize, you're going to type in here. So you can type login and then your username and password. You can type app update, you know, like you can do whatever you want that works within the program, but this helps to speed things up, and I'll show you how this works now. So be sure we save that, go back into here, type CMD, okay, and then steamCMD override minOS, but this time what we'll do is space plus run script space, and then this is the name of the script, so it's autodir.txt, and I believe you actually do need to put .txt this time. So press enter, and it actually worked. So if you look after all of the gray text, there's white text that says force install dir, right? So it did what I told it to do. Thank you for following those instructions. But anyway, like I said, you can put whatever other command you want in there. So hopefully that will speed things up. Now, if you want to speed it up even more, there's something else you can do. You can write a batch file that launches command prompt for you. So we'll do that. And just because it goes so fast, we're going to name it ripper.bat here. Yes, I do want to name it that. And then inside of here, this is essentially a text file if you're not familiar with this, but it carries out a set of instructions. So in here, we will type steamCMD override min os run script autodir.txt. Okay, so this is basically me in command prompt right now. So when I place this inside this folder, and by the way, if this wasn't obvious, the script file and then the batch file both need to be in the same folder as steamcmd.exe. So we're going to run ripper, and as you can see, ripper immediately ripped and typed everything in for me and then ran the script. So that's how you like super automate it if you don't want to type that out every time, because I got tired of doing it too. So anyway, hopefully that helps you as well if you are impatient and just need to get your game on. So last thing that I'm going to talk about is not really that important, but if for whatever reason you did everything in this video and it just doesn't want to work for you, you cannot get the downloads working, you keep getting errors, like whatever the case, you've tried it all and you've gone looking on the internet and it just doesn't work. I'll show you an alternative method which probably won't work, but I feel it is necessary to share it. And I'm going to link to a Steam thread in the description, and I have written instructions for the old way, as I call it, but I'm going to just briefly touch on it. So what you can do is run the program as normal. Don't set the install directory and just have your games install into these folders, because if you go to your actual Steam folder, you can see in here, like, here are all the actual games, right? And let's just say you go into Doom. Okay, here's Doom, right? That's wonderful. So if you instead install Doom in your steamcmd folder without setting the directory, it will install in here, and there will be that ACF file or whatever it's called for it, and you know, it's right here. So at this point, what you would do is you would drag and drop essentially from steamcmd to Steam, and that will overwrite some stuff. So like if you have mods in there or files you rename to get something working or whatever, you know, you need to be mindful of that. Or like if you have a custom folder, you're going to want to back that up, you know. So anything that it has a really old date installed, like I don't know, let's use a different game as an example. How about Left 4 Dead? All right, so I don't know, like for instance, you would not really need to overwrite the debug log, or probably not the Half-Life 2 folder, right? Or certain things in the Left 4 Dead folder, because a lot of them are, you know, they haven't been updated in a long time. But anything that is pertinent to the update that you know needs to be replaced, you would just drag and drop from steamcmd into Steam. Now that's very convoluted and it gets difficult, and now you're overwriting stuff, and it's like, you know, you really shouldn't be doing it that way. But it is a method that works because I've done it before. And then one more thing you might have to do is when you type app install, you might need to add validate to the end of it, and that will put all of the files into the steamcmd folder, because sometimes you start a download into here and it's done really fast and it didn't actually install anything. So Anyway, that's not really a method at all that I recommend, and hopefully you didn't skip to this part of the video and think this is what you're supposed to do. But I felt it was worth talking about just in case. And like I said, there's an in-depth written method, or set of instructions rather, in that Steam thread. And then after this goes up on YouTube too, or wherever, then I will make a written guide for this as well. So anyway, if it works for you on a different operating system, let me know so I can add that to the title. Because right now, really, I only know this works on Windows 7, but I would imagine at the very least, this will work on 8, probably 10, right? Because 10 is actually still supported, I think. Maybe Vista, maybe XP, I don't know. But that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this works. Be good gamers, do good things. Thanks for watching. See you later.